Okay, so now we're going to put in the functional score. We don't need to, he's gone already. I've already talked to him. I talked to his mom out in the hallway. We're moving forward. I'm not feeling optimistic about this particular case. So here's the dash score. I'm going to look on the intake form. Usually somebody at the front desk will have shown it to you. If you actually want to see the questionnaire, if the number looks terrible, like it doesn't make sense, sometimes the kids put way higher numbers than they should. I'll go and redo the questionnaire with them or something like that. So I'll just put that in there, 20.8. And then this is where I find that, new grads and some of the grad students will put in, consistent with, and they'll write all this garbage in there. I really want this line, whatever goes in here, what you think it is based on combining the subjective and objective history, and then any other future things you need to rule out or want to consider as you move forward. So I'm going to write appears consistent with right elbow, UCL sprain, mild, with likely need, well, maybe not likely need, with comorbidity of medial growth plate or epiphyseal injury. Just so that my thought process and how I got to this is in here. This is substantiated by special tests, subjective history, and subtle yet specific MRI findings. So this basically tells you how I came to this conclusion. I'm not going to talk about my plan here. Brief assessment of throwing motion did reveal abbreviated follow through, but cocking and acceleration phases which could compromise strain or stress to the UCL were not apparent. Again, my spelling is horrendous. So now we're going to go down to the plan. These have defaults that you can see the different ones. I'm going to put down 1 to 2 times weekly right now because really I think he needs a lot of rest and he can't even hit, so the odds are he's not going to be able to play baseball. So right now I told him that. So we're in the plan section now. So we're combining the assessment and plan because now we have the subjective, objective assessment and the plan. The duration for this is either going to be very, very, very long or very, very, very short. So I'm going to put down 4 to 6 weeks just for the goof. I think we're going to unfortunately know in about 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, that there's not much we can do. And I'm going to probably have a discussion that this is a pretty important season for him to miss, maybe even the summer again, and look at possibly the fall season as one where he potentially tests it again.
I'll be in the back.
So that's what I'm going to write here. So the plan of care right now is active rest with simple flexor, pronator stretching, and positional ice application. If significantly decreased, pain may move forward with PREs, etc. If not, will likely recommend holding off on any throwing through spring and likely summer, and think of the fall season as one to use as a early sub-max test of the medial elbow. May also consider use of OTC NSAIDs at RX dosage if approved by parent/physician. And then the default for home exercises, usually everybody clicks that. It says just see the electronic record or flow sheet. Usually I'll give them a handout. A lot of times I have them take pictures on their phone of exactly what I want them to do. But for him, since I want him to do so little, I'll just say, for example, I'm having him do flexor, pronator, stretching with elbow in extension and flexed. Then ice in full extension nightly after stretching. And you don't need to be that specific if you gave them a handout or had them record it themselves. And then as far as billing goes, everybody bills for the high complexity eval regardless of how long it takes. I would say that was about 4. It all has to add up to an hour. So I'll say, actually for this one, I'll say 50 minutes. And everybody bills for therapeutic activities. Sometimes you do more than this, but that's what we do. And then everybody is supposed to put in the hot pack, cold pack, just see flow sheet, since we don't bill for that time unit ever. And you'll understand that more later. And then you need to set 3 goals. The one that we talked about earlier, if you recall, is our primary functional limitation. You right-click it, and you say, make this a goal. And then you immediately go down to the bottom and change, it defaults to the same sentence. You just take out the UN, so the goal is to be able to achieve acceptable level of pain-free, and you pick a date. I'm going to pick a really far date for him because it wouldn't be acceptable in the 6 weeks I said potentially, so I'm going to go 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. I'm going to just throw it out there here. We'll go with July 2nd as a goof. The reason you want to do that right away is because this date will default for the other ones. The disability index here, I'm going to make that the other goal. You right click. It's not letting me do it, of course, because you're watching. I don't know, but you would right click and make that a goal. I'll do that later since it's not working. And then I have to pick a third goal. And I'm going to probably go with the valgus stress test at the moving valgus stress test right here is the other one. And again, for some reason, these are not getting goals like the other one, like it popped up down here. I don't know why it's not letting me do that. And then you would just go here. When you go to sign it, you go up to the sign it here. It's going to ask you for the diagnosis. We use only pain diagnoses for the orthopedist stuff. We click here, and we just write right elbow pain, and search comes up. You can double click it, and it goes in, and it goes away. You could have added it and ended it, or closed it, or you could just add more here. But typically, we just go with the pain one, and we say OK. Then it'll go to the signing screen. And I'm going to make believe I'm doing this, but I'm not going to do this because I need to put those goals in later. But you almost always put in here the format, the initial eval and plan of care certification. You click the fax one, which means it's going to fax to the doctor. And when you go to sign this right here, it's going to come up with cover sheets and whatnot, and we can walk you through that in a separate video.